Welcome to my channel, Hebrew channel, Miel Hebraica, Hebrew honey. And I call it this because how sweet your word is to my taste, sweeter than the honey in my mouth. Today we're going to look at something that's not quite so sweet. It's actually wet clay, malat. And when it's used as a verb, it means slip sliding away. It's a sort of an attractive way to describe the whole situation. It's a verb that tends to find itself in groupings. It appears something like 60 or 70 times in the Bible, but in this particular section, it appears like 5 times here in this part of Genesis. So it's kind of an interesting spot to find this word being used, malat. That is to slip, sliding away. And the context of the story is one where Jehovah is talking with Abraham and saying, "Hey, I've had it with Sodom and Gomorrah. They're evil. The outcry is the people they are oppressing have cried out to the Lord, and I'm hearing that, and now it's time to do something about Sodom and Gomorrah, cities of the plain, and they're about to be destroyed." And after this particular conversation with Abraham, Abraham's trying to say, well, what if there are 50 righteous or 40, 30? It goes all the way down to 10. And there weren't even 10 righteous otherwise. The place might have been saved. But and it ends with the angels going to Sodom, rescuing Lot and his family and hauling them out of there. And we'll follow them along as they run away from the city. It's a very interesting sequence here of the word Malat. Jehovah said, because the outcry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great and their sin is very grave, and he tells Abraham, I've determined to destroy the place. Vayomer Yahweh Za'akat, Zakas cried out, outcry, Shdom of Sodom, Gomorrah. Now this is an ayin that's used as a guau. This particular sound or this particular pronunciation is found also in Arabic, and it's one of the times that the ayin, instead of being pronounced on the basis of what you see here under the patah, the hatef patah, it's pronounced as a G, and and you find it among foreign cities, Gaza, foreign words, Horagel, and Otoniel, and those are the words that tend to have this kind of wow. Okay, so you have Gomorrah. Okay, Gomorrah. Kirava, because it's great. Tatam, their sins are very great, extensive. Ki kavdo, and because it's very grave. Okay, kabod is heavy. Okay, kabod. The word kabod is used for glory, but also for heaviness. And their sin is very heavy. It weighs heavy on me, and this is very much so. It's very heavy. And here's the geographical, the Dead Sea here, the Salt Sea. The Salt Sea is very much divided into an upper section and lower section. And the upper section is the deeper one, and the lower section is the one that has, in ancient times, had a climate that was conducive to cities. And they have, archaeologists have discovered places, quite often on the basis of extensive cemeteries. So they've been more or less, but it's always somewhat of a conjecture as to which one was called which. Sodom, Gomorrah, Zoar, Admah, Zeboim, and they're across from Masada and Engedi. Engedi is well known, Masada is well known, and this is the southern section of the Dead Sea. It's the shallow part. It's where all the salt pans are now installed, removing salt minerals from the Dead Sea. It's divided sort of right down the middle with a set of dikes, and on this side, the nation of Israel removes the salt, and on this side, the Jordanians remove the salt on that side. So the place is quite a bit different now compared to what it was during the time of Lot. So Lot, when he had trouble with, or the herdsman had trouble with Abraham's herdsmen, They were standing up here, and they could look out over the Kirkar, over the plain, and it was beautiful. It was so green and so forth, quite a bit different from what it is now. And that was attractive to Lot. Says, "Oh, hey, I'm going to go over there. Maybe I'll just hang out with them." But he ends up moving in with them, and which incidentally was a very bad thing because the place was extremely sinful. We're going to get back to this slide because this escarpment here becomes an important factor in what happens. By the way, if you're walking in this area over here, you're going to see signs all over the place saying, "Watch out, deep holes, slidey mud," all kind of stuff. It's a very treacherous part of terrain to walk in, and so that will factor into our story. Just the mud and the sinkholes and all kinds of stuff that are in the way when you try walking along. They don't really let you walk along the shoreline. They'll let you go up to the Dead Sea in certain places where they're really watching it pretty carefully. But when you find out, when you get close to the edge of the water, it gets slippery and you can fall over quite easily. And it gets pretty treacherous when you're up close to the water. And so we pick up the story with the two angels who have appeared in Sodom, and they've had to rescue Lot. They pull him into the house because all the people in the city were surrounding them and trying to beat into the house and do evil things with Lot and his family, and the angels, which they wanted to haul them out and abuse them. So Genesis 19, verse 17, and as they brought them out, these are the angels, one of them said, "Escape for your life. Do not look back or stop anywhere in the valley. Escape to the hills, lest you be swept away." Vehi ke hutziam, and as they brought them out, hutz is outside, okay? They brought them outside, they hauled them out of the city. They're hauling them out of Sodom. Otam, them, okay? Otam hahutza, to the outside. This is the verbal part of the hahutzam, hahutza, okay? They were bringing them outside to the outside. Vayomer, he malet, okay? Escape. Himalet is causative. Get yourself going. Himalet. Run forward. Escape. Al nafsheha, for your soul, okay? For your life. Okay? Nafsheha. Because of you're going to lose your life. You're going to lose your soul if you stay here. Okay? Al nafsheha. Al tibit. Don't look back. Now, this is one of these verbs that is based on a very much a root consonant. The bet tet. Tet is don't point to something. Don't focus on something. Don't look to that spot. Okay. Tibit. Unfortunately, we get to the end of the story, we find out this is something that Lot's wife did. Way at the end of the story, it's kind of an interesting spot to see this thing again. Tibit. It's kind of an inclusio. You start the story with this, you end the story with this too. Al tibit acherecha, behind you. Al teamod, don't stand there like a statue. Amod is like a column. Okay, don't stand there like. And this is kind of how you say it, pointing forward to Lot's wife becoming a column. Okay, al tamod bekol hakirkar, in the whole valley. Kirkar is also plain, and this is what was attractive to Lot when he first saw it. He says, "Oh wow, what a nice place." Okay, but don't stop there. Don't stand there anywhere in the Kirkar. Okay, Hahara is escape to the. Okay, he malet, escape to the hills, to the mountain. Okay, this is is a definite article, mountain, and this is a directional hey here. Okay, so escape to the mountain. You'll find refuge over there on a firm place. Don't stay down here in the valley where everything's going to be super messed up. Fen tishafa, you will be swept away. Fen is something that is turning in front of your face, and boom, something will haul you off and sweep you away. Now, to understand what the word malat means, we get back to like what we would be a physical description of the word. In other words, something that's a real substance. And there's aren't very many places where you have it. One is right here, Jeremiah. Take in your hand great stones, hide them in the wet clay in the kiln, which is in the entrance to the house of Pharaoh, and Taphanes before the eyes of the men, the Judeans. Now, Jeremiah has been hauled off into Egypt, and God is speaking to him and says, hey, grab some big stones, allow the Judeans to see what you're doing, maybe not the Egyptians, but the Judeans most certainly. Take them into the kiln, shove them down into the clay that's in the kiln. They're soaking there because they're going to make the pottery out of this clay. And at some point, the kiln is going to be fired, and all of this clay and all of the stones and stuff will be firm enough so that when King Nebuchadnezzar shows up, he's got a place to put his throne. In other words, sort of a prophecy of, hey, Nebuchadnezzar is going to show up and do this. Now, it's kind of interesting. The Babylonians did enter and attack Egypt numerous times. Egypt really could not stand up to the power of Assyria. But for confirmation of this happening, we have to kind of check with Josephus and others that say, yeah, Nebuchadnezzar did eventually show up to do this. But here it's a prophecy that, Nebuchadnezzar is going to have a place to set his throne in front of the house of Pharaoh so that he can judge Pharaoh. So, kach beyadecha, take in your hand, avanim, stones, gadolot, okay, stones that are large stones, avanim, gadolot. If you're thinking grammar here, this is a female ending, this is a masculine ending, but sometimes things that have a masculine ending probably have a feminine sense to them, something that's being built, okay, avanim, gadolot, ve, u, matnetam, and take a look here, you got a tet, and tet, just point into the middle of the mud, there you go with them, okay, shove them down, it says here, hide them, okay, shove them, Malat, into the mud, into the wet clay that's in the kiln, Asher, bepata, ba, malben, in the kiln, which is Asher, bepata, in the opening, the entryway, Beit Pharaoh, house of Pharaoh, Beit Tafaneches, okay? And this is very much an Egyptian name, quite long. Notice that Samek again is used at the end of a foreign name. You often see that Ramses or others will have a Samek at the end of their name when over all the foreigners. Be'anei Anshe Yehudim, in the eyes of the men of the Judeans. Okay, these are just plurals. Sometimes translators will put here the men of Judah, but Judah really at this point is not functioning much as a province anymore. So the men of the Judeans will be able to see this. Some of them will remember, hey, guess what? There's some stones in there underneath the fired clay, and when Nebuchadnezzar shows up, he will be passing judgment on the Egyptians. So Malat is wet clay. Okay, just think of it: slippery, slidey, gooey, gummy stuff. Okay, Malat. And here is what I call a family of this particular word. Malet is the clay. That's what we just seen here in Jeremiah. Malat is to escape, to slide off, to slide away. Laat. This is when Jael is about to drive a peg into Sisera's temple, and she comes very sneakily, very, 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 very much stealthily. Okay, and Balat. This is also almost the same word. This one has an extra aleph. This one doesn't. And this is when Ruth comes to Boaz at the threshing floor. She comes Balat. She comes very stealthily. She comes. Sneaking in there. I tend to think of, I can remember this word because of the word in the Maya, which is balam. In other words, when you're doing something very stealthily, balat. Pelita. This is the same lametet but it's with the pay on the front, it becomes salvation. It becomes something that's this becomes then a thing. It's peleta and beleta also. This is salvation. This is something that is done under the cloak of darkness. Okay, belata. So there's a whole family of things that escaping, doing things under the cover of darkness, doing things stealthily. That's what this sequence is getting to. It's a whole family of words that are based on Nalamatet. Now your servant, and this is Lot talking with the angel, saying, "Oh boy, we're in for a tough haul here, out of the city, but we've got a long ways to go today." Okay, your servant has indeed found favor in your sight. You have shown me great kindness by saving my life, but I can't slip away to the mountain. The evil will stick to me, and I will die. Hine na. And so this is, hey, wow, please, hey, please. Masha Avdecha has found your servant, chen, favor, okay? Be'enecha, in your eyes, in your eyesight, in your eyes. Ve te gadal, and a great, chesdecha, great has been, you've been great in your chesed. Chesed is kindness, favor, chesed, hasdeha, okay, hasdeha, double, the shabazz always kind of catch me here. But anyway, hasdeha, your favor, your kindness, asher, which, ashta, which you have done, you are doing, imadi, with me, le hit hayot, so that I will have life, le ha hayot. Okay, this is a hey, and this one's a chet. Chet is, when you see a chet in the middle of a word, you always start thinking about high, okay, because this is for life. Okay, whenever you see a lamed in front of a verb, you start thinking infinitive. So this is to be alive. Okay, to be alive. Et nafshe, my soul. So my soul will be alive, and this is it's a causative here, to make alive my soul. Okay, to make alive my soul. Ve ani anochi, and I, lo uchal, am not able to. It's not possible. Ve ani lo uchal le hi malet, to slip away. Okay, I don't have enough slipperiness to. They've been slogging it through the mud alongside the shoreline of the Dead Sea, and heading south, trying to get away from what's going to happen to the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. So, I can't slip away. Ahara, to the mountain. Apparently, they're aiming for some part that was far more secure, far more stable. The valley's about to become a destruction zone, and they're heading for something that's got a lot more stability. Hahara, Ben, lest Tibekani, and Tibekani is glue, to be attached to very closely. When Adam and Eve, when God makes Eve, he takes the Eve, the woman, and says, okay, the two will become one, and they will be glued together. Okay, debek. Even in modern Hebrew, the word debek means glue. Okay, tibekeni, they will be, you will be, evil. Well, this hara mati, this evil will stick to me. Okay, you have to kind of visualize Lot at this point, because he's walking through the mud, and he's getting all covered with stuff. Maybe even asphalt and stuff that was in the area. Incidentally, if you were thinking about brimstone, yeah, this is the asphalt that will catch fire, and so yeah, he's not looking to be a great sight at this point. But hey, I'm in really bad shape. Please give me a break here. This is what Lot is telling the angel. And so he spots a little town here called Zoar, and these words here. The word small means Zoar, and these are these two words right here. Hey, hinene na, hey, please. Okay, very literal. Hinena Ha'ir Hazot, this city, Ha'ir Hazot, Keraba, which is close by, Lanus, okay, to nus is to scoot, to move, to run, okay, to get over there, okay, Lanush, and so it's once you have a lamed of purpose here, the preposition of purpose, to get over here, to run over there. Shama, over there. Shama is there, with the hey, directional hey on the end here. Shama, towards there. Vehi, mitzar, and it is a small place. Okay, it's a very small place, just a little spot. Imal ta. Okay, imal ta. Now you got mem, lamet, tet. That means escaping, sliding. Okay. Let me escape over there, please. Let me slide over there. Himaltach. Na, please. Okay, you have a hortatory please here. You have another hortatory please here. Na, Shema, same word as this one here. Over there, over there. Shema. Hello, isn't it not? This is we call it kind of it's an interrogatory. It's a questioning. Okay, is this not Mizar, a small place? This one, it, he, or this is actually female, he, she. Is this not a small place? Betihi, and my nafshi, my life, my soul will live. If I can just get here to this Mazar, okay, just let me get over to this wee little place and I'll hide out and I should be okay. He's negotiating with. Incidentally, it's very, instead of just going along with the angels and heading out into safety, he's going, I'm only going to go as far as I can. I mean, I'm not going to go any. I'm going to go so far, not an inch further. It's a very sad commentary of what's happening here. And then the angel replies. We find this one again here. Malat, hurry up, okay? Maher is get going, move it. Maher, even here in modern Hebrew. Maher, get going quickly. Maher, Himalet, slide. Shama, over there, okay? Slide over there, escape over to that place, okay? Done with discussions, done with arguments and stuff. Get over there, okay? Slide over there, because I cannot do anything until you get there. The destruction of the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah are not going to take place until the person that God has chosen for salvation is safe, is well hidden, well placed. Okay, so hurry up, slide over there, for I cannot do anything until you get there. Maher, Hamalet, Himalet, causative hey right here, Hifel, okay, Himalet, Shema, get going over there. Ki lo, because I can't. This is first person, I can't. Lashot, to do something. Ashot, it's an infinitive here with a lamed of purpose. I cannot do anything. Dabar, a thing, any kind of business, any kind of word, any kind of dabar is can't do anything. Ad boacha, until you get shama over there. Okay, and get over there because you have to get over there. Shama, very same word again here. Shama is there, and then says a directional hey on the end. I keep repeating all the directional heys here, kind of emphatic as to get over there. Alken, for certain, Kara, and it is called, is named, called Shem Ha'ir, the name of the city, Zoar. Now, if you look back on the previous one, Za'ar means small place, and Zoar is a small place. Today, there's a city in that area, Shafi, which might retain some of the sound of this name, even to modern times. And it's along the shore, it's along the east shoreline of the Dead Sea. And so the sun had risen over the land when Lot reached Zoar. V'hashemesh yatsa al haaretz ve'lot ba Zoar. Okay, so the sun had risen, the sun had come out onto the land. Ve'lot ba Zoar. Okay. Now you find something interesting when you read the point at which they leave the city. It is dawn, And yet when they get here, this is when the sun is coming out. And there's a reason for that difference. And it's very interesting when you see the geography of it. The city they are escaping is Sodom up here on the Lishan, onto the tongue that extends into the Dead Sea, and Kikar extends along the shoreline here. And these cities were almost at sea level at the bottom along the plain, Kirikar. And then behind them, there's an escarpment. There's quite an extensive, very tall escarpment. On top of the escarpment are some of the principal cities of today, Karak and Medaba and so forth are up here. And so there's quite a drop from top to bottom. This side is the east, towards this direction. And then when the sun comes up, these cities along the shoreline, they're in the shade. So when Lot and his family and so forth is slogging it through the mud along the shoreline, they're still in the shadow of the escarpment. So they have an hour and a half, 2 hours or so of running through the mud. And by the time they get to Zoar, they're probably pretty tired of the whole thing. So you can kind of understand the petition to the angel, hey, let us hide out over here. Okay, we want to stop. And we're covered in mud, and it's getting to be a messy business. And so let's just hide out here in Zoar. Maybe we can find somebody gives us some water for a good bath. So anyway, they reach the small place of Zoar. But at that point, then the sun is shining down on them. This is true of like in the Galilee. If you're on the west shore of the Galilee and you're waiting for the sun to come up, you're going to be waiting quite a while. If you're in Jerusalem, you're waiting for the sun to come up, it takes a while, right? Because the sun has to come up over the Mount of Olives and to shine down on the city. So there's quite a delay between when the sun is starting to brighten the eastern sky and the time that the sun actually starts shining on you. So that's part of the way this place is set up in its geology and its structure, the physical structure. But then his wife looked back and became a pillar of salt. Ve va Tibet. Okay, now your memory is good. Look back, you're going to see Tibet. Another, and this is what I call a word based on a root consonant. Okay, the tet. She looked back, and this is something she was pointing out. And I was, okay, there it is. Okay, Tibet Ishto, his wife. Now take a look. She didn't look back when she was running out of the city. She didn't look back running along the whole shore. She looked back once she got to Zoar, and we're okay, we're fine, okay. And it's that point, even after she's understood all the work that the angels have gone to protect her life and to rescue her and so forth, she turns back, and it isn't just looking back, it's also focusing on, it's also pointing your focus on, you're pointing your finger at that spot. Oh, wow, okay. And what's happening? Her soul, her purpose in life was still back in Sodom, and that of course was not good for before the Lord. So his wife looked back, Tibet, Ishto, me achare, from behind her. Okay, in other words, they go around and just, oh wow, and in disobedience to what the angels had said to her. If you do this, you're in for trouble. But she was disobeying these angels, and then Tahi, and she became Neshiv, a statue, Melach, okay, statue of salt, probably covered with a lot of muddy salt, and just simply has to dry in her pretty good shape to turn it into a column of salt. But the Lord most certainly punished her for not having her heart pointed in the right direction. It's very important teaching for us, and something that we should understand. Incidentally, this word Malat, I'm going to be looking at a few more scenarios like this, and some of them are very interesting, some of them based on how things slide around, and so I look forward to some interesting studies of Malat. And when Jesus was inviting some people to be his disciples, some of them said, "No, I've got to go back, and I've got to work with the family. I've got to bury somebody. I've got to do this. I got to do that." And then Jesus said something very, very penetrating, very true. Jesus said to him, "No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God." If you're plowing something and you're looking backwards, the plow is going to scoot off in every crazy direction. You're going to do a bad job. I know that in many situations, if you're going to do something, focus on what's before you, focus on what the Lord wants from you, and move towards it. And something that the people of the Old Testament found out from the story of Lot and his wife, and it's something that it's a principle that lives with us even to this day. So may God bless you, and as you slide through this world, may God also slide you in the right direction and provide rescue to you. Incidentally, Malat is the God rescues is based on this particular word as well. It's found in Nehemiah, and in a future study I'll put it in here, and you can see how it works. So God bless, and God be with you in this day. Until the next time.